Hello to students. Today let us discuss another concept in module 3. It is a continuation of sampling distribution. In the last session we have discussed all the theory part of your most of the theory part of your sampling distribution, which are few basic definitions and what is a sample, mean of a sample, and standard deviation, and many more things. So what distribution was exactly with respect to the sample thing, these many things you have already understood in the previous session. So here in this session, continue to learn some more basics of the sampling before getting to the problems. So here you also must know what are the errors which are going to be discussed in this topic. So errors, while testing a hypothesis, we usually come across two types of errors. They are type 1 error and type 2 error. So what is this type 1 error is? So if a null hypothesis is rejected while it should have been accepted, such an error of rejection of true hypothesis is called as type 1 error, and usually this type 1 error has been denoted by alpha, and which has been known as the level of significance also. And the probability of correct decision in this case is 1 minus alpha. So coming to the type 2 error, if a null hypothesis is accepted while it should have been rejected. So understand the difference between type 1 and type 2 clearly. Type 1 was the hypothesis is rejected while it have been accepted. The type 2 error is opposite to that. That is, null hypothesis is accepted while it should have been rejected. Such an error of acceptance of the false hypothesis is called as type 2 error, and this type 2 error is usually denoted by beta. And the probability of correct decision in this case will be 1 minus beta, and which is known as the power of the test. And here understand this table. So hypothesis, there are two cases. One is the hypothesis is true and the other one is hypothesis is false. So acceptance of HO and rejection of HO. What is HO here? Null hypothesis. So you have to understand like this now. If hypothesis is true and it has been accepted, then it is going to be the correct decision. So in the next case, the hypothesis is false, and this false hypothesis has been accepted, then it becomes a type 2 error. So by the definition of type 2 error, the hypothesis is accepted while it should have been rejected. So here the hypothesis is false. In the second case, the hypothesis is false and it has been accepted. Therefore, it is a type 2 error. And so coming on to the next one, so look at this. Look at this. Hypothesis is true and it has been rejected. So once the hypothesis is true and it has been rejected, then it is going to be the type 1 error. And the second case is the hypothesis is false and it has been rejected. So therefore this becomes a correct decision. So this is how you need to understand the table. So once the hypothesis is rejected when it should have been accepted as a type 1 error, and in the opposite cases the hypothesis is accepted while it should have been rejected as the type 2 error. These are the two types of error which happens in the sampling distribution. So what is the significance level R? The probability level below which leads to the rejection of hypothesis. So probability level means a numerical weightage will be given. So probability level below that numerical value which leads to the rejection of a hypothesis is known as significant level. So this probability is conventionally fixed and it is at 0.05 or 0.01. So that is 0.05 is nothing but 5% and 0.01 is nothing but the 1%. And these two, 5% and 1%, are called as significance levels. And we feel confident in rejecting a hypothesis at 1% level of significance than at 5% of level of significance. So we will be confident enough in rejecting the hypothesis at 1% more accurately than at 5% of significance level. So why? Because this 5% level of significance can also be understood the probability of committing the errors and that error can be either type 1 or type 2. So that is at 0.05% of significance, 0.05 significance level. So, the test of significance and confidence interval. So, the process which helps us to decide about the acceptance or rejection of the hypothesis is called as test of significance. So, whenever we want to accept a hypothesis or reject a hypothesis, we need to undergo a test, and the hypothesis need to undergo a test. So, that is called as test of significance. So let us suppose that we have a normal population with mean mu and the standard deviation sigma. So if mean is mu and standard deviation sigma, it is for the population or a universe which we already come across and we know very well. So if x bar is the sample mean of a random sample of size n, and the quantity z can be evaluated as z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma by root n, is called as standard normal variate. So we very well know that mu here represents the mean of a population and sigma represents the standard deviation for the population itself. So when it comes to a sample, x bar is going to be the mean and the sample size was taken as n, and we're keeping this as a reference, the quantity, the normal variate is that can be evaluated, and we get an expression as z is equal to x bar minus mu divided by sigma by root n. Even you can take the sigma by root n and to the numerator, so you get it as x bar minus mu into root n divided by sigma. So from the table of normal areas, we find that 95% of the area lies between z is equal to minus 1.96 and to z is equal to plus 1.96. In other words, we say that this 95% confidence that z lies between minus 1.96 to plus 1.96, and further 5% level of significance is denoted by z 0.05 in the suffix. So what is the meaning of this? So whenever we say the 5% level of significance has been happened, and because of which we accept or reject the hypothesis. So that means that the value whatever you calculate with respect to the test should lies between z is equal to minus 1.96 to z is equal to plus 1.96. So in other words, we also call it as this 5% of level of significance is also called as 95% of confidence level. So 5% is there can be an error, whereas 95% confidently we say we accept or reject. So similarly, from the table of normal area, there is another condition was 99% area lies between minus 2.58 and plus 2.58. So that is 99% confidence that z lies between minus 2.58 and plus 2.58. So here 99% of confidence level. So 1% is a significance and it has been denoted by z 0.01 in the suffix. So here you cannot see here it is z 0.01 here been given, and here it is z is equal to 0.05. So this is about the significance level. And look at these equations. So x bar is nothing but the mean of a sample minus 1.96 into sigma by root n, which is less than or equal to mu less than or equal to x bar plus 1.96 into sigma by root n. Let us call this as equation 1. And this equation 1 is nothing but 95% confident interval. And move on to the second equation. Here the values are 2.58 minus 2.58 and plus 2.58. The equation remains the same. So this equation is with respect to the 99% of confident interval. So here you need to remember these numerical values has been given for 5% of significance level as well as 1% of significance level. So the confidence interval you need to be remembering in a proper way. You have to remember these values in a proper way. So look at this curve. So whatever we have explained in a theoretical way, he has been explained through the graph also. So the first graph. So look at this graph. So this graph is all about 95% of significance level, and this is about 99% of this. So you can look at the values, the normal variate that has been calculated, and here the normal distribution is always a bell-shaped curve, and the same thing has been shown in graph 1 and graph 2. And in the graph 1, there is 95% of significance. The values, the end values lies between minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. Whereas in the second graph, you can see it has 99% of significance level, and the interval lies between minus 2.58 to plus 58. So now another thing we need to understand here is one-tailed and two-tailed test. So in so what is this one-tailed and two-tailed test are nothing but, so if you take care of your, if you consider the values at one side of your graph, then it is a one-tailed test. So if you consider the range from the graph on both the sides, both the negative side as well as in the positive side, then we call it as a two-tailed test. That is all about the main in a overall way, in a simple way we can explain like this. So in our test of acceptance or non-acceptance, so the hypothesis, acceptance or non-acceptance of the hypothesis, we concentrated on the value of Z, both the sides. So value of Z has been evaluated, and we are going to consider the value both positive direction as well as in the negative direction. So both sides of the mean. So this can be categorically stated that the focus of the attention lies in the two tails of the distribution, and hence such a test is called as two-tailed test. So as I said, there is a mean values, and these mean values have been considered both in the positive and negative direction. So if both the sides has been considered, then it is going to be a two-tailed test. So similarly, look at the second paragraph. So sometimes we will be interested in the extreme values to only one side of the mean. So in such cases, the region of significance will be a region of one side of the distribution. So obviously, the area of such region will be equal to the level of significance itself. So such a test is called as one-tailed test. So if you consider only the one part of your distribution curve, then it is going to be the one-tailed test. So that these two definitions can also be explained with the numerical values of what is one-side and two-tailed tests here. So look at this table. So one-tailed test. So one-tailed test, and critical values of Z has been given here as 5% of level and 1% level. So one-tailed test at 5% level of significance, and it will have the values minus 1.64 to plus 1.645. Similarly, the two-tailed test at 5% level of significance have the end values as minus 1.96 and plus 1.96. So this is for two-tailed and this is for one-tailed. So similarly, moving on to this one-tailed test at 1% level of significance. So one-tailed test at 1% level. So we have the end values as minus 2.33 or 2.3. So R has been given there. So be careful, either one value, negative value or the positive value during the case of one-tailed test. Whereas in two-tailed test, look at the values at 1% level of significance, it is minus 2.58 and 2.58. So understand the difference between R and OR and A and here. So because if AND has been given, you have to consider both. If it is R, any one, either the negative side or the positive side. So that is about your one-tailed and two-tailed test. So test of significance for a large samples. So large samples, as we already discussed, if the sample size is more than 30, then such samples have been called as large samples. So test of significance of the large samples. So test of significance for the single proportions we are going to discuss here, and this test is used to find the significant difference between the proportion of the sample and the population. So let x be the observed number of success in the sample size n, and be the expected number of success. So let the associated standard normal variable of Z is denoted by Z is equal to x minus mu divided by sigma. So mu here is nothing but NP, and sigma here is nothing but the standard deviation, which is square root of NPQ. So therefore, Z can be written as, the normal variate Z can be written as x minus NP divided by square root of NPQ. So if this, whatever the z expression we have discussed in the last slide, if that z value, modulus of z value, if it is more than 2.58, then we conclude that the difference is highly significant and reject the hypothesis. So here P is the probability of success and square root of P into Q divided by N is the standard error proportional of success. So which is being evaluated by using this expression that P is equal P plus or minus 2.58 square root of PQ divided by N are the probable limits for telling the hypothesis is the significant levels. Either it can be during which the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. So this is about the more continuation of your sample distribution 1, and in the next slides let us going to discuss the problems on this sampling distribution. So thank you.